Well, I'm really pleased to be with you tonight. I don't think there's any more important task than any of us have in our lives as far as society and the planet goes than the sustainability agenda. It's been prominent for most of my life, but getting increasingly clear that for 8 to 9 billion people to live on this planet with reasonable qualities of life requires so many things to change. Sustainability is crucial in itself, but as I've travelled the world and especially visited India and China increasingly over the years, I've come to realise that sustainable development is also important. It's not just about maintaining a relatively small number of people in the West at a very high standard of living. We have to reach a stage where everybody on our planet has a reasonable quality of life in a sustainable way. Now, this is an immense journey from where we are now, and I have a passionate belief that universities are a crucial part of this journey. Now, part of that is obvious. The Millennium Development Goals have been contributed to very significantly by an academic network around the world. We all know of fantastic individual institutions like the Earth Institute at Columbia that do fantastic work in planning for the future. At King's, we're forming an alliance most of you may have heard of called the Plus Alliance with University of New South Wales, a big Australian university, and Arizona State University, and a contribution in the broader sense to sustainability and sustainable development is at the heart of that alliance. Now, this is all a little bit esoteric in one sense, that in research-intensive institutions, we can contribute ideas for the future, we can do modelling, we can do planning, we can deal in technological advances that are all incredibly helpful. But at the end of the day, we all have to do something else as well, and that is make sure that our own impact on the world around us is as friendly in an environmental sense as it possibly can be. And if universities are going to champion this, we must also be champions of how we act and deal with things in the day-to-day so that our energy footprint is as modest as it possibly can be. Now, we're doing all of that at King's. This is something that has been increasingly embraced by the King's community, led by our students, with fantastic leadership from the students, but coming together more broadly with a cross-university working group. And we've been looking at every aspect of the story, how we run our buildings, how we use energy ourselves, what research and intellectual proposition we can give in our different activities and departments that help understand and improve these huge issues, how we can give an example, for example, by developing more fit-for-purpose investment policies for our financial reserves to make sure that we're investing in environmentally friendly industries. The list goes on and on. Now, this isn't about me. It's not about even a small number of people. It's about many, many people in our university community who are implementing changes on the ground. Supporting our sustainability champions that we're here to honour, but also for all of us who are just doing things in our everyday life, whether it's in our job description or not, from lab managers and office managers, cleaners who make sure our waste is recycled, managers who show leadership and support their staff, the engineers, the security staff who have an impact on making sure our waste goes into the right bins, just mentioned, making sure that the lights are turned off when you leave your office at the end of the day. These all seem small actions, and maybe individually they are small, but when you add them up collectively, they add up to a commitment to do our very best to be as environmentally friendly as we can in our own bioenergy footprint, energy footprint. Now, students are totally committed to this area. The expectations of our student body are increasing, and thank goodness that's the case, but they have been, we've had student leaders really leading university thinking in many aspects of sustainability and sustainable development. I've already alluded briefly to the work of the Socially Responsible Investment Committee over the past year. The Ethics and Environmental Carers Conference that our students ran, I'd also like to mention, and our students have been heavily involved in social enterprises and student environmental societies. These are all fantastic developments. One example I wanted to highlight of how students can be involved, well, there are a range of examples extending from the King's graduate, who is a paid intern, who I think I just met, who runs the scheme every year, as well as students that support the Sustainability Champions directly, and all of those that acted as auditors for our workbooks. It's clear that whatever they study, whatever faculty they're in, our students should be able to leave King's with an education that allows them to be part of the solution to the social, economic and environmental challenges our world faces. Now, as King's gets larger, bigger as a university, we have to work on these issues even harder. It's a good thing that our environmental impact is not growing at the same rate as the university is overall. And so far we have a reasonably good track record in energy use. We've reduced our carbon footprint by 8.8% in recent times, since 5-6. Despite significant growth in staff and student numbers. But in order to achieve the reductions needed by the planet, 43% by 2020, we all need to think about how we can be even more efficient in how we use university resources, space, and equipment. So give attention to your laboratory usage. Look at integrating sustainable and efficient practices in our scientific practices generally across our research spectrum. Be aware that as KCL's research environments are steadily growing and growing, it's important that we restrain growth in our energy usage and that it's not growing at the same rate. And I think we're starting on that journey, but it is a journey and we're not quite where we need to be. So I'd just like to finish by thanking everybody in this room for your individual contributions. This is a community effort by the King's community. The fact we have so many champions coming through is just fantastic. And on behalf of the King's community, we look forward to seeing even more champions from across every part of the university next year. Now, thank you all, and let's now enjoy the presentations to those who deserve it and have made such a great contribution in the last year. Thank you.